welcome to the Raven's Call. I'm Eric, Word Weaver Sjerven, Gothi of the Ridgar folk here in East Texas. In a previous video, I discussed this meme of not my hall, not my call. Little thing that I like to say on the internet a lot. The essence of that was the reciprocity of respect within a social construct. And today, I want to expand on one of the points that I made in that particular video, and that is the reciprocity of responsibility within a social construct, under a social contract. Now, a social construct is going to be anything that we as a society have created. It is a literal social construct created by the people of that society, that culture, community. It grows up from a communal level, and it can take on the form of businesses, it can take on the form of an economy, it can take on the form of a government system, it can take the form of tribe, kindreds, hearthsteads. All these things are social constructs. These are individual people who have come together and have agreed that we are going to call this thing a thing. We're going to interact and we're going to band together around some idea, some kind of central focusing point, and we are going to work together towards a common goal. This is a social construct at this point. You have created a social thing, and you're a part of this thing. And like anything, any kind of construct, any kind of machine that you would create, there are rules that it must operate by. These rules are what we call the social contract. And it's simply that. Everyone agrees that if they are going to be a part of this social construct, they're going to play by these sets of rules. Now, if you don't play by those particular rules within the social contract, you are kicked out of that social construct. You are outlawed. You are rejected. In the olden days, we had this in place. So we, Northern Europeans in general, if you look at Old Icelandic Law Code, Norwegian Law Code, because these are the areas that I am most interested in and have the most experience in, you will find that there is greater outlawry and lesser outlawry. Essentially, there were things you could do that were so egregious that you would be cast out of society, literally placed outside of the social contract. You have no rights. You are not recognized within the social construct at all because you broke the contract. So you're shot out, thrown out into the woods, left to the wolves. And you don't have any rights whatsoever, any protections whatsoever under the social contract. Not anymore. At that point in time, you don't exist within the rules and regulations of that societal construct. Okay? We do this today. You got clubs with exclusive memberships. If you make it, you're in. If not, sorry, you're out. Homeowners associations. These bug the crap out of me. But there are very few things that are a better example of that modern social contract and construct than a homeowners association. This is a ludicrous construct to me. It makes absolutely no sense. But in order to live together in this community, in the house that you own, that you've bought, you have to pay dues to a homeowners association and operate by the rules and bylaws of the homeowners association. Otherwise, they make things miserable for you in the home that you own. I have issues with that. But it's a social construct. And as long as people play into that and pay into that, it's going to continue to be a thing. So, society creates it, creates the rules by which you play. You don't play, they make your life miserable, or they cast you out. This is a social contract. That's just how things work. So, we're going to look at this within relation to tribal structure. Okay? I can't speak for every tribe because every tribe is built a little bit differently. And the way that folks do their leadership in different tribes varies. Ours, for example, operates with the Gothi as far as the spiritual and kind of executive leader of the tribe. And then I've got my Jarls, my Carls, and then my Fosters under that. So I've got different levels within the tribe of membership. Okay, and these are positions of responsibility, very specifically. And if you look at feudal structure in general, tribal structure in general, you will find that the different positions within tribe are not necessarily positions of power, but positions of responsibility. And this is something that people lose focus on. Becoming a leader of a tribe means that you owe certain responsibilities to your people. Your people then have certain responsibilities to you as well. Reciprocal responsibility is the cornerstone of the social contract. Without reciprocal responsibility, it falls apart. If one person is responsible to the other, has responsibilities to the other, but there is not a reciprocation, then that relationship is all give, all take, whatever, with no exchange. Yeah? If you have a lord who only takes from his people, everything flows up and there's no flow down, things die out. These men and women will no longer follow this leader because he is not feeding back into them. He's not putting luck back into the tribe. He's not distributing the tribal luck. He's not providing for his people. He's not seeing to their safety and their well-being. There are reciprocal responsibilities based on what your social contract is. It varies from tribe to tribe, and everybody agrees a little bit differently. But for instance, if the leader of the tribe is responsible to see to, say, keeping the tribe good with the gods, as an intermediary with the gods and goddesses, I mean, it would be the head of the tribe, or the Goli chieftain, whatever, from a certain aspect, from a certain viewpoint, their responsibility to make sure that the rituals are kept the way they're supposed to be, that the festivals are kept when they're supposed to be kept, also that the relationship with the gods is maintained, because if the relationship between the gods and the tribe is good, then the tribe will benefit. So, that leader has a responsibility to his people to see to those things. The people also have a responsibility to that leader to assist in making those things work, because he's going to need their help. He can't do it all himself. This is the way that a social contract works. It's a quid pro quo kind of thing. In order for things to operate, the upper level has to be responsible for and to the lower level. And the lower level must be responsible to and for the upper level. And it exists on every level of a social hierarchy. Now, if we could take a 3-tier hierarchy, such as is laid out in Reciprocity, when Heimdall comes and lays out the 3 levels of society amongst man. You have a ruling class, you've got the middle class, and then you've got the thrall class, the lower class. In this structure, the higher class, the ruling class, has a responsibility to this middle class. The middle class has a responsibility to the higher class. Okay? Now, in a lot of ways, this can be, the upper class has got the responsibility of making sure that this social construct continues to run the way that it's supposed to. That they oversee these major things. Whatever their particular area of responsibility is, it's their job to make sure it keeps functioning right. The middle management level, the second tier in the social hierarchy, is responsible to make sure that these jobs that are on this level get done, and that this person's got the support they need to make all of this work. If they don't have that, then it doesn't function. This person is responsible for making sure that the middle class has what they need to be able to do their job. The middle class is responsible to make sure that their job gets done so the upper class can do what they need to do. Same thing goes middle to lower. Each has a responsibility to each other. Each is responsible for each other. Even in let's say if you look at, in a thrall situation, thrall is beholden to the person to whom they are tied, and it would seem like they are solely responsible to that person, and an uneducated individual might think of them as slave somewhat, and that in this instance the middle class that owns the lower class would therefore not owe them anything. This is erroneous. I mean, if you look at most tribal structures today that utilize a thrall system, this middle class is very much responsible for this lower class. Whoever's under them is their responsibility. If something goes wrong here, they're the ones that are responsible to it and have to answer to the higher class. There's a reciprocity of responsibility here. They are responsible for these people, but they're also responsible to these people. They have to make sure that these people get done what they need to do in order for the whole tribal social construct to continue working, just like they have to do their part, but they have to protect and provide for those people that are under their purview in order that they may do what they need to do for the whole construct to work. Now, it's convoluted, it's crazy, I know, but it's really not. It's really simple. Level 1 has a responsibility to level 2, but they're also responsible for level 2. If level 2 goes left, then level 1 has to answer for it because it's their job to keep all of this working. It sounds convoluted, but if you think about it from like boss, middle management, and then grunt work levels within any business, any corporation, the same kind of thing works that way. And as you'll notice, everybody's got a counter story. Everybody's got, this is the abuse of power. This is where I've seen abuse of power. And let me tell you, this is where things go wrong. All right, this is the rant section. This will be a little bit quicker, but still, this is the rant section. This is where things go wrong. This is where society has fallen apart. We have forgotten that there is reciprocal responsibility. We cannot simply exert power within a situation. We are responsible for these people. We are responsible to these people. And this is talking about a guy who runs a facility that takes care of CPS kids. I am responsible to my people and for my people. And when I run my tribe, I am responsible to my people and for my people. Reciprocation of responsibility. If you do not have it, corruption begins. Rifts build between the different levels, and society crumbles. It is as simple as that. If you deny reciprocal responsibilities, then the social construct no longer functions, because reciprocal responsibility is a key element to the social contract by which the social construct works. And if you go against that contract, you void that contract, and the construct falls apart. Anarchy ensues. We see this in our societies today. We see these in our countries all over. Because ruling class forgets that it has responsibilities to us, not just for us. But people also forget that we have responsibilities to and for the ruling class. And that if either side voids that contract, it's done. The construct has fallen apart. And yet people still will muck through and try to make a construct work that by all means is dead at this point. Now, I'm not advocating any kind of anarchy. Absolutely not. What I'm advocating is that people remember reciprocal responsibility and work to reinstate those things in the social constructs that we have around. Can we fix anything on the macro level? Probably not. But what we can do is my absolute favorite thing to bring up, and that's drive the grassroots level. Work within your tribes. Work within your social structures. Teach your kids. Teach your tribesmen. Teach everybody that you can work with that there is a reciprocation needed in all responsibilities within the social construct. Teach the different responsibilities, point them out, be heavy-handed about it, because it's important and it needs to be ingrained. Eventually these things will become secondhand, but it takes about 3 generations for any kind of enculturation to stick. The first generation adopts, the second generation learns from and adapts, the third generation has always been in it and it is natural. It is naturalized at that point. That's a much more convoluted conversation. That is a way boiled down version of it. But yes, about 3 generations is what it takes to ingrain something culturally. Similarly, it takes about 3 generations for cultural extinction to occur as well. So, each generation is important in doing what they need to do to build towards the future. We have to lay in our weird the levels that will become the orlog for future generations, and we are doing them a disservice if we ignore reciprocal responsibility within the social contract. What we are teaching them is that the upper levels have all the responsibility to us, but we have no responsibility to them, or vice versa. What we're teaching them is a broken view of a social construct that will only lead to entropy and destruction. Simple as that. For the construct to work, the contract must be followed. Reciprocal responsibility is a key element of that contract. Don't like it? Sorry about your luck. That's how constructs work. It's just how it is. If you've created something, there are rules by which it has to operate. So, I can continue to ramble, I can continue to rant, but that's not going to do us any good. Think about it. Look to your own tribe. Look to your own families. Look at reciprocal responsibilities. Who are you responsible to? Who are you responsible for? Okay? And look at the different levels. What are their responsibilities to you? How are they responsible for you? Etc. Work with those. Respect those. Again, back to reciprocal respect from not my hall, not my call, to couple with reciprocal responsibilities in this video here. So, think about it, apply it. Have a good day. Thank you for watching the video today. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you liked what you saw, give us a like on the channel, maybe subscribe, shoot a comment in the section down below. Somewhere on the sides here, I'm not entirely certain where yet, you're going to see some pop-ups for some other videos on my channel. Give them a watch. The more you interact with these videos, the more you're going to see them pop up in your feed. Make sure you turn on notifications when you subscribe so that you can keep up to date with what's going on. Also, if you go to Facebook and look up Word-Weaver Productions, as Word Weaver Productions, you will find a open group on there. Jump in, join the conversation. This is where I post all my videos. You'll also find some videos up there for my other show, the Weaving Words, which is my storytelling vlog where I go in and tell some different stories, give some storytelling tips and tricks, talk about some just some cool things in the storytelling world there. A lot of that does have some heathen orientations, so if you're of a mind, give it a look. In the meantime, have a good day.